Hey, what's up, guys? Kenigas here, and today I want to talk about the spiritual realm. I do believe the spiritual realm exists. I do believe in angels and demons. I believe in a higher power, higher than us human beings, that dictate and control our lives. I do believe in a creator. I do believe in Father God. I do believe in Jesus and the Holy Spirit. I believe in the devil. I don't worship the devil. I don't, worship demons or anything. I'm not into the occult or anything like that. But I do understand these things. And I want to talk a little bit about spiritual power. And the way that works. Now, like I said, I'm not into witchcraft. I'm not into the occult. I'm not into necromancy. I'm not into any of those things. But I do understand a great deal about it. And I'm going to talk just a little bit about that right now. And give some, examples of Chris Angel. A lot of you know Chris Angel. I'm going to talk about that a little bit and how he's able to perform all those things. And that it is very real. Now, the spiritual realm is the highest plane of existence. There is the physical realm, which your physical senses can interact with, what you can see, taste, touch, and see. And, and what you can feel or whatever. That's the physical. That's what your natural body can interact with. Then there's the soul dimension, which is your emotions, what you can feel around you, what you can emotionally feel. That's your love for your family. That's your love life. That's your love. That's your hate, your anger, your sad, your up and down emotional roller coaster. That's the soul, okay? Then there is the soul man, or the spirit dimension, or the spirit being, because there's three parts of ourselves: body, soul, and spirit. And today I want to talk about the spirit, okay? And how people access the spiritual realm to manipulate the physical realm. This is gonna get pretty crazy. And this is just my point of view. Some of you may think I'm a kook. Some of you know what I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure some of you will know what I'm talking about, or maybe you've heard about this stuff. Okay. First, I want to talk about astral projection. What is astral projection? Astral projection is well, let me explain the spiritual realm first. The spiritual realm to me is where the true reality is. If someone can access the spiritual realm, they can manipulate any other part or any other plane of existence, because the spiritual realm is the highest dimension that you can reach. Or the astral plane is also another term for the spirit realm. It is the unseen realm, unseen to the physical. Those who operate in the spiritual, they can see the past. They can manipulate the past to affect the future. Because in a spiritual realm, there is no time. The spiritual realm bypasses or supersedes or transcends the dimension of time. There is no time. There is no limits in the spiritual realm. That's why people can do superhuman things. Because they're accessing the spiritual realm. Like astral projection is one. Astral projection is basically leaving the body. That's your conscious and your spirit leaving the body. Leaving your body through meditation, you're sleeping or whatever, and your spirit being, or your conscious, that which is able to fight the demonic realm, is gone, and your body just stays there. That's why it's dangerous to astral project, because sometimes people don't return to their bodies. You know why? Because the only thing that fights things from entering into you is your conscious, and your conscious leaves, your spirit and your conscious leaves, and you go and mess around with people's lives and stuff, or you're in your witchcraft circles. Those who are listening, you may know what I'm talking about. Astral projection, you can basically go wherever you want in spirit form. Your human conscious is still there, and you are aware of what you're doing. Some people astral project and don't even know that they're doing it. Some people can trigger it at will because they understand the dimensions of the spiritual realm. And those who astral project can go into people's houses. They can spy on people. They can invade animals. They can watch through animals. Witches, they possess birds, they possess cats, and they watch you through animals because they can astral project in through certain creatures to watch people. They can astral project spiritually in your room through what? Through a spiritual terminology called the silver cords. They use silver cords. It's a spiritual string of connection that enables them to astral project, but is all accessed through the spiritual realm. And that's what they do. They fly around, they mess with people, they can stab people spiritually with spiritual swords. I've heard stories about that, and I do believe that. Okay? You know, I had this one guy who was a Christian, and he had a group of people that he knew in the past. They were attacking him because he was a Christian while he was sleeping. They astral projected into his room and started stabbing him with spiritual swords. This is real stuff. But of course, when he said the name Jesus, they all just dispersed. But anyways, but yeah, that's what astral projection is. So you got to be very careful when you do it, because when you're out of your body like that, you know, your body is open to all these different kinds of spiritual beings to invade you. That's why it's so dangerous to be astral tripping out there. Okay, now let me jump from another topic. I'm already done with the astral projection one. Now there is the access in the spiritual realm to manipulate the physical realm or the physical reality. Let's take Chris Angel, for example. Chris Angel, the mind freak. You know who he is. A lot of you know who he is. A lot of you in the occult know who he is. A lot of you who practice spiritual things know who he is. What does Chris Angel do? He accesses the spiritual realm to manipulate the physical existence or the physical plane. That's why he can walk through windows, walk through doors. That's why his hand can basically go through a door. The door, his hand. The door, his hand. And there is no split in between. His hand goes straight through the damn door. Or his levitation videos. That's not fake. That's not fake. The guy accesses a higher plane of existence to manipulate his physical self, or to make himself light as a bird or light as a feather or whatever. See? That's what he does. That's why he's able to split people in half. That's why he's able to do all these crazy things that he does. That's why he's able to read people's minds. Why? Because the spiritual realm is the highest plane of existence. And when I say the mind is the highest part. It is the spiritual eye. It is a reference to the highest plane of existence, which is the spiritual realm. And I also want to explain the spiritual exhaust points of the body. There's a certain exhaust points which people who do card tricks, like Chris Angel, he does things with his hands and he does tricks with his hands. That's because we have spiritual exhaust points. We are all spirit beings. Let me say that right now. We are all spirit beings. We are all spirit beings inside of a body. Okay? And there's, I think, about 5 or 6 spiritual exhaust points. There's 2 exhaust points in the hands. That's why we can do things. Why? Because we project spiritual energy out of our hands to manipulate the physical realm. You know, that's why Christians, when they pray, they extend their hands or their palms, or they touch people's foreheads. Why the hand and why the forehead? The hand, spiritual energy comes out into the third eye, and that's to pray or to release spiritual energy into the person's psyche, into the person's conscious. See what I mean? There's also 2 more spiritual exhaust points on the soles of your feet. And there's tubes. Okay. You see, there's 2 in the hands, 2 in the palms, 2 in the soles of your feet. There's a third eye. There's 1 here in your mouth, your words. Also your breath, your air. Air is spirit. You know, witches can curse something just by simply breathing on it. They can curse an object. They can curse somebody by breathing on them. Because spiritual energy is released, dark energy is released. They can release dark energy on you. Crazy stuff. But where the spirit resides, or the pool, or the big chunk of the spiritual energy, is in your abdominal area, in your stomach. That's where the whole pool is. And from that pool, there's tubes there's tubes that come around the body, spiritual tubes, and then the exhaust points. Spiritual tubes and then the exhaust points. Also your legs as well. Spiritual tubes and then the exhaust points. That's why Chris Angel is able to do what he does. That's how he's able to manipulate the physical realm. Also, people who shape-shift. People in Africa, you've heard stories of people shape-shifting into faces of animals. It is accessing the spiritual dimension whereby they can manipulate the physical reality of things at will. They don't die. As long as they maintain the spiritual perception, they can keep manipulating the physical realm at will, at will, at will. It's crazy. And yeah, that's my knowledge of it. You guys may think I'm a total kook. Some of you may know what I'm talking about. You know, some of you people in witchcraft, you've experienced or you're doing it right now. You know, where you're praying people, you're praying curses on people in school, you're practicing little, you know, in your little witchcraft groups. Cursing people, cursing schools through written things. People can read it. You can curse someone through something written. You can read it at them. Even if they touch that object that is cursed, spiritual energy is placed on that certain object, and if they touch it, that spiritual energy transfers to them, and it's that negativity, and it draws negativity on them. That's a curse. Or when witches, when they use chickens and they throw it at people's houses. I think it's stupid, but you know, they curse people like that, you know? When they throw chickens in the railroad, you notice in the railroad there's a lot of dead chickens. There's a lot of dead baby goats in brown bags. There's a lot of voodoo dolls. There's a lot of all those other things. That's because witches. Okay, why railroads? Because railroads is a ley line. It's a spiritual ley lines, and I'm gonna get into ley lines in another video, but that is just deep. Basically, the iron ley lines. It just extends through cities and countries, and just that's why they do the railroad, because it just goes throughout the whole city, and there's something with the iron that's very spiritual that transfers. That's why witches do a lot of witchcraft ceremonies in railroads, you know, and they do voodoo dolls, and those voodoo things are real, you know, those little voodoo dolls with the little pins and stuff. That's real stuff. That's crazy shit, but that's real, you know. They have these little voodoo dolls with either a hair from someone or a piece of whatever that belongs to them, something that their soul is connected to. It will affect them because it's a spiritual thing. Okay? So they use either a strand of hair and they poke the little doll. And because it's connected to that person, it will affect that person because of how the spiritual dimension works. And boom. That's why voodoo dolls are real. Those things are real. It happens to people. You know, that's why people do all these crazy curses where they, you know, just all these crazy curses, you know. There's a curse of words. There's a curse by having a picture on someone. You can curse someone just by having a picture of them. You can curse them with a demon. You know, you can also bless them too. There's blessings and there's curses. But it's basically accessing the spiritual realm to affect the natural realm. Anyways, guys, I can go into a whole subject with this. I hope you guys enjoyed this talk. Leave your comments down. I know those of you in the paranormal anything, you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys who practice witchcraft, you know what I'm talking about. Okay? I sound like a kook to other people, but this is a crazy channel, okay? Anyways, peace out.